He stared at the office exit, heart pounding, knowing that the moment he pushed that door open, he would be walking away from a paycheck, a title, and the life everyone told him he needed. His name is Marcus, 31 years old, born and raised in Ohio. The kind of guy who never wanted much, a small apartment, a steady income, a little peace at the end of the day. But the truth was, peace had become the rarest thing in his life. Every morning at 7:10, Marcus sat in the same traffic line, watching the same gray buildings rise like walls around him. And every morning, a little more of him slipped away. His job paid enough to survive, not enough to breathe. His manager spoke to him like he was replaceable. His coworkers were drained. The office lights hummed over his cubicle like a warning. What kept him there was fear, rent, health insurance, the idea that if he stepped out of line, everything might collapse. Millions of Americans know that feeling. The quiet pressure, the trapped heartbeat, the sense that life is passing by while you try to convince yourself that a paycheck is worth the pieces of yourself you keep giving up. For Marcus, the stakes were simple. Stay and lose the last bit of himself, or leave and risk everything. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. Nothing dramatic, no shouting, no sudden conflict. Just a moment. His manager placed a stack of files on his desk and said, without looking at him, "Do something useful for once." Something in Marcus cracked. Not loud, not visible, just a private collapse inside his chest. That day he spilled his coffee, forgot to eat lunch, and stared at his monitor until his vision blurred. He felt small, invisible, exhausted. On the drive home, he pulled over on the side of the road and cried. Not because of the files, not because of the insult, but because he no longer recognized the man in the driver's seat. This was rock bottom. Not a dramatic fall, a quiet one, the kind that comes after years of swallowing your voice. A week later, he opened an old notebook he kept under his bed. Inside were sketches of an idea he once believed in, a small digital product he dreamed of building. Something simple, but his. He had pushed it aside for years, telling himself there was no time, no money, no reason to try. But that night, he felt something he had not felt in a long time. A spark, a small one, but steady. He asked himself one question: what if I tried? That question hung in the room like a dare. He knew the leap would be terrifying. He knew people would call him reckless. But the fear of staying the same had finally grown louder than the fear of change. The next morning, he walked into the office, typed his resignation letter, and placed it on his manager's desk without a word. The days that followed were not glamorous. No instant success, no sudden windfall. He woke up early. He learned skills he had ignored before. He read, tested, built, and refined his idea until the edges started to take shape. Some nights he felt unstoppable. Other nights he doubted everything. But he kept going. He budgeted every dollar, cut back on everything he could, replaced fear with discipline. 3 months later, he launched his digital product. The first week brought in $27. Not much. But it was his. By month 2, he was making more than he did at his old job. Not because the idea was perfect, but because he refused to quit. His confidence returned. His energy returned. His life returned. He found the version of himself he thought he had lost on that roadside months before. Marcus learned something simple. Sometimes the moment you walk away is not the end of a chapter, but the beginning of finally hearing your own voice. Growth rarely comes wrapped in certainty. It comes in quiet choices, small steps, and the courage to bet on yourself even when you feel unprepared. You do not need a perfect plan. Sometimes you just need a starting point. And if you think Marcus's leap was bold, wait until you hear the story of someone who risked even more, for a dream even smaller. The outcome will surprise you.
Tonight's journey reminded us that breakthroughs often hide behind decisions that scare us, stretch us, or make us question our own sanity. If this story gave you clarity, a smile, or a spark of motivation, tap like so more people get stories that remind them their comeback is still possible. Share this with someone standing at a crossroads. Subscribe if you want more narratives that fuel your grind, your faith, and your growth. So until the next story, stay hungry, stay grounded, stay relentless, and always remember our 4 guiding words. Hustle, hope, heart, rise. That's the identity. That's the community. That's the journey. See you in the next narrative.